Hello, readers. It's time for today's mini lesson. We will be focusing on analyzing how an author uses reasons and evidence to support particular points in a text. We'll work with informational text today, and you'll see a close relationship between our previous lesson on main idea and supporting details. Let's look at some key terms to help us understand this information. When we're looking at reasons and evidence, there are some important understandings we need to look at. Reasons are the details that the author uses to support his or her main points. These reasons are enforced with evidence. Evidence includes the facts and data an author uses to support his or her reasons. But as a reader, today you're going to focus on your responsibility, which is analyzing. The analyzing part is a process that we go through to break something down methodically into parts to understand how it is made, what it is, how it works. Or it can be how a reader looks at something critically in order to grasp its essence. In this case, we're going to be breaking down informational text in a methodical way to really understand how the parts work together to communicate the main idea. We'll also be reading critically to grasp meaning. So the word essence, the synonym for that would be meaning. So we're really going to understand better why the author puts things together the way that they do. Hopefully, this will improve not only your reading ability, but also your writing ability as you form your own informational text. As a reader, we always encourage you to have that internal conversation when you're asking yourself questions as you read. Here are some examples of questions you can use to help you analyze informational text. What is the author's opinion or point of view? Sometimes authors include information that's fact, and sometimes they include their opinion. As a reader, it's important to recognize when that happens and see if you can identify that opinion or point of view. What evidence does the author use? Recognizing the type of evidence provided will help you better understand the opinion or the main idea of a particular text. Why do you think the author included a particular detail? Sometimes it's helpful to notice why this detail, why is this one important to the author? It can often lead to clues about the author's opinion. Is the evidence the author included valid? As readers, it is very confusing to know when information is valid and when it's made up. So you have to be very careful to look for good sources of information. Why do you think the author wrote the text? Did the author provide any clues? You'll be surprised how often the author's point of view or opinion sneaks into text. And it's important to always read with the purpose of the writing in mind. And what additional evidence could the author have used, but they've left it out of their text? Sometimes there are more clues in what's not said. And as a reader, you need to be thinking of those things. Here's a sample text I'd like to share with you today. Many people use antibacterial soap because they think it will keep them healthy. However, is antibacterial soap really better than regular soap? Most antibacterial soaps contain a chemical called triclosan. Research shows that triclosan is not any more effective at preventing illness than regular soap. This is because many of the germs that causes us to get sick are viruses, not bacteria. Not only do antibacterial soaps not work, but they may also be causing problems. There is evidence that children who use triclosan regularly are more likely to develop allergies. Scientists believe that reducing exposure to bacteria causes the immune system to turn against itself, causing allergic reactions to things like peanuts or pollen. Another problem is that bacteria can become resistant to antibacterial soaps. Not all bacteria die when you use antibacterial soap. The ones that remain alive are resistant, meaning that triclosan cannot kill them. These resistant bacteria go on to make new resistant bacteria. When people become infected with resistant bacteria, it can be hard to find a drug that will cure them. Regular soap and hot water are perfectly effective at getting germs off your hands. Antibacterial soap causes more harm than good. So now that we've got some new scientific information to work with, we need to be thinking about the author's point of view and their opinion and how they use this information to support that idea. Going back to the first part of the passage, I've highlighted where I see that the author has given a clue about their opinion in pink. Is antibacterial soap really better than regular soap? Now, the purpose for reading this might help me research whether or not I want to use antibacterial versus regular soap. So it would make sense that the author would use a compare and contrast strategy in their work to help me understand this. The author supports this idea by telling me most antibacterial soaps contain a special chemical called triclosan. And not only do antibacterial soaps not work, but they also may be causing problems. When I see this information I've highlighted in blue, I'm noticing that these are the ideas that the author wants to share to support their idea that maybe antibacterial soap isn't as good as regular soap. The highlighted areas in green are the evidence the author provides to support their reasons. Now I've highlighted in pink, again, some suggestions for the main idea of this topic, and you'll see some clues about the author's opinion. Regular soap and hot water are perfectly effective at getting germs off of your hands. Antibacterial soap causes more harm than good. Now, the first sentence there is a fact sentence. Regular soap and hot water are effective at getting germs off your hands. But the second sentence hints at the author's opinion because it talks about how antibacterial soap causes more harm than good. While the author presented opinions or reasons that do support the idea that antibacterial soaps can cause problems, they did not include information about how regular soap can prevent those problems from occurring. You'll see in blue another statement that reinforces the main idea, and you'll see the details or evidence of facts and data that provide that information more clearly. Today, as you read, make sure that you're taking time to look for the clues the authors provide. Think about what you're reading carefully and look for the evidence, those facts, and look for what's missing.